My name is Nyfed, the same as in Dyfed, the county, only with an N instead of a D at the beginning. And I've been diagnosed with schizophrenia and I hear voices. I've written something in preparation for this recovery project concerning my own recovery. It's a long road from 1979, when I had my third nervous breakdown, spending 6 months in hospital, to today. I saw an occupational psychologist when I was in hospital who tested my IQ. It was 156. She said that I was very intelligent. I attended discussion groups under her guidance, which were very encouraging. Also, while I was in hospital, towards the end of my stay, a student nurse said, "Don't come back to hospital, you won't." She was right. I didn't. How did she know? I don't know. After discharge from hospital and being given a voluntary job, I took the step to attend yoga evening classes once a week. I was interested in yoga when I was in school. It was a big step to take, but it was worthwhile, not least because of the enlightened yoga teacher who was broad-minded and introduced our class to alternative therapies. I did yoga under her guidance for 10 years. Towards the end of the 90s of last century, I did a 15-week, one-day-a-week creative writing course at Lampeter University College of Wales. I've liked writing since I was in school, when I gained high marks for essays and compositions written. This too was an important step, leading indirectly to Arts Care Gofal Celf, WHAM, that's West Wales Action for Mental Health, creative writing sessions at the end of the first decade of this century. It culminated with the publication of a book consisting of the creative work of mental illness sufferers, in which I had several contributions. A third important step was joining a Hearing Voices support group early in the 2000s, as I am a voice hearer. Later, I came to run the group and have done so for over 10 years now. In April 2015, I gave a speech in a Hearing Voices conference in Carmarthen. This speech has since been printed in the Hearing Voices Network magazine. One of my Hearing Voices group who has read this speech says it is easy to read, and the reading of it has helped her. The WHAM director, who has also read my speech, says it will help others. I hope she's right. The manager of Llanelli Mind says I speak from the heart. The work I do in the Hearing Voices group has been praised, as has my chairmanship of the Carmarthenshire Mental Health Joint Forum. I owe thanks to my peers and WHAM, to name but a few. My advice is to follow your intuition, which is like some sort of sixth sense perhaps, and to use the experience you've gained. These are some of the things that are responsible for my being where I am today. I have, however, restricted this discourse to the mental health side of my life. I have other interests: attending chapel, senior citizens club, reading, including an interest in the Second World War, and writing for a newspaper, a chapel's newsletter, and the occasional haiku poem. Here is my haiku poem on recovery. Hope springs eternal. Remember to persevere and follow your dreams. Finally, I came across this quote by Lady Gaga in a Welsh language book of personal mental illness stories entitled Gyrru drwy Storm, Driving Through a Storm. The quote is in English. I learned that my sadness never destroyed what was great about me. You just have to go back to that greatness. Find that one little light that's left. I'm lucky I found one little glimmer stored away. I find when I do modelling, it's therapeutic. Why I started modelling, I'm not quite sure, but it may be something to do with my father. Because when I was young, and my father was alive, we used to watch programs like War at Sea on the television. And my father also had, from wartime, silhouette books for identification of World War II aircraft. And maybe that was part of the reason for me gaining an interest in World War II and doing some modelling. One day, after I'd been travelling for a number of years, I was out on the street outside the hospital, and an estate car came along with a horse box behind it, I think. And who should it be but my psychiatrist? And he wound down the window and asked me in Welsh how I was. And I thought that was very nice of him to have remembered my name, and that he cared enough to ask how I was. It's something that has stayed with me over the years, and it's a precious memory. I remember at the end of August 1979, he said I could be discharged on the 1st of September, but he said I was doing so well that I could stay a little longer because I was doing so well. But no, I didn't want to stay. I wanted to go home. I'd had enough of being in hospital. So I had my way. He let me go home on the 1st of September, and I was grateful for that. I suppose there must have been a lot of negative things. But as I've hinted before, I don't feel that the negative is all that important. Perhaps rather concentrate on the positive side of life and the realistic side of life, perhaps.